So we've also ended up, unfortunately, mentoring our youth in the wrong direction, and we celebrate drug dealers, thugs, and people who've made their money in the wrong way, and don't highlight as many stories of people who've done it the right way.
Hey everybody, my name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie. It's Mwenye Monday. It's the 19th day of October, and tomorrow is Mashujaa Day, a day where we celebrate heroes, and even heroes that people, I think a lot of heroes are always celebrated. We need to celebrate new heroes, just people who are getting it together, waking up every day, made it through the pandemic, men and women who are loving their wives, wives who are loving their husbands, families that are coming together. It's a time to celebrate our heroes. And Joram at Unstuck, there's a question that was asked at the Unstuck Conference 2020. You can also go to our Kingdom Business Solution Facebook page and watch the two Unstuck videos there that were for Unstuck 2020, because the conversation was around access for extraordinary impact. And because it's Mashujaa Day, I found one of these questions might be very relevant for Mashujaa Day. So somebody wrote, great conference, Joram, great to see you. In the past few weeks, there have been debates on Africa's SMEs being owned and run by experts. What are your views on this, and how can African SMEs play a stronger role in the future? Because I'm sure there's two more questions, because also I feel like we went through one colonization, and sometimes I have this sinking feeling that if we're not careful, we'll have an economic colonization. I remember the other day, I think it's a bit funny, but it might not be funny to everyone, but I remember the other day we were with my daughter, we were driving, and then we saw these two Caucasian women on a boda with their Java coffee and laptops. So we're like, something is wrong with that picture. We take a picture because, no. I wouldn't go, I don't know, what? You become that comfortable, you're even taking bodas. You know how not to hold on, you have coffee in one hand and your laptop, you're Caucasian, and this is Africa. On one sense, it's a good picture because we have a lot of diversity, and especially in Kenya. I think we live with a lot of diverse people. But then again, on the other side is telling me, I guys have become too comfortable now, because are you here doing a job that a Kenyan can do? Are you in their place? So it is true. I remember there was something about all these experts having a white skin or being Caucasians, and we're talking an African conversation. So I don't know whether you'd like to speak into that.
I mean, it's a conversation I've been part of in quite a number of circles. So I have quite a number of viewpoints around it. One of them is that there's definitely a lot of bias in the people who are funding businesses here. So there's a certain playbook which, if you're able to put together a very nice story around that playbook, you're from an Ivy League university, you're white, you have a bottom of the pyramid solution, whether it's technological or helping alleviate poverty and that kind of thing. And if you're able to create, an impact story around that, some people are very genuine about it, but some people have learned that if you just put the story together. So the complaint now you find from, the local entrepreneurs is that I have a business that's probably doing a lot more and having a lot more impact than this individual who comes and just tells a story and doesn't even have anything on the ground, and they get $20 million right off the bat, and then many other people start piling onto that. So there's even people who will get a white co-founder just so that they have that, whiteness right to them, next to them, so that when they go and pitch,
there's the correct Caucasian
everything,
individual.
they tick all the, the boxes. And so that's going on. But I feel like some people are just taking advantage on opportunity. Some are genuinely here to make something of, that particular opportunity, because entrepreneurs do stuff around the world. Even your Jack Ma's and everyone are setting up in the US and that kind of thing. So you can't stop people from coming up with great ideas and running with it. But when it comes back to our conversation at home, there are two key conversations. One is, why aren't our own local billionaires funding those local startups?
True, good
and
question.
So,
because they don't trust.
Is it because they don't trust? Is it because they made their money corruptly so they cannot even help somebody else to be able to grow?
Mentality.
Is it because they grew because
Mindset
of political
shift.
Patronage? So there are all sorts of reasons why local people who have money are not those angels that we need. So we need to catalyze that conversation of our own people need to put their money towards funding our own, because that money from Silicon Valley is from Silicon Valley. It's not really our money, so we can't really claim it as if it's ours.
That is so true.
But the other thing that I've noticed, because now I've gone down that path and gotten funding myself, is that there's a lot we need to invest in to also be the kind of organizations that can be funded.
Yes.
People
a lot
want
of structure systems,
openness, systems, governance, openness, accountability.
Yeah, honesty.
And nobody also wants to fund a kiosk. People want to fund grand visions. They want to fund scale and don't fund impact. Yeah. They want to fund something. I'd rather fund $1 million to one person who will go across Africa than $100,000 to 10 people who are building kiosks. And so we also have to start challenging ourselves to think big,
our visions,
to craft big visions, to also put in those systems in that organization, so that even when the funders come and they see your story, they know they can trust you, they know that this is something we can work with.
Yeah, true.
I know there's many of them who've worked with people who, you know, as soon as they received the funding, they went and put up flats and went underground and switched off their phone. So, you know, you can't blame them for being anxious. But, you know, stories like ourselves and others, we can be able to actually build these stories.
And that's why you must be authentic about, I think, sharing your story as well, because this is a story of it worked. There's no point in keeping it a secret. We need to shout it from the rooftops. This has worked. And if you do this with integrity, you can also do this for yourself. So I think it's systems and structures, and I think a mindset shift, because somehow I can only speak of my own, because I know my own, is that we're always, sometimes we have an attitude or a mindset of how can I cheat you out of what you have. And it's a very bad mindset, you know. I'm approaching you with, I'm being dishonest, it's greed and corruption. Sometimes I say it's unfortunate that people shower and wake up and energize and take the matatu or drive to work just to steal. That is your agenda for that day. How do I make some money, take from somebody else, make somebody else suffer, or block somebody else and enrich myself? And that's an attitude that we need to stop.
And also our culture sadly goes ahead to celebrate these kind of people in the media without questioning
where did the wealth come from, how was it created?
And those kinds of things. So we've also ended up, unfortunately, mentoring our youth in the wrong direction when we celebrate drug dealers, thugs, and, you know, people who've made their money in the wrong way, and don't highlight as many stories of people who've done it the right way. Granted, also some of us, you know, local entrepreneurs are afraid of speaking out because we're afraid of people learning that we received a huge chunk of money. Because we feel, I don't know whether we'll be invited to Harambes in Shags and, you know, all these sorts of things. So we don't want to keep the story quiet. But by doing that, we end up not attracting the kind of resources, people,
that we need,
or the brand that we need to you know, grow.
But again, back to process, because you have demonstrated the person that you are, you know, sometimes who you are is written here on your forehead. If you receive 500,000 euros, I'm sure there are people who are not coming to ask you for the money because they know Joram is not like that. He is not partying with any money. So sometimes also it causes us to reflect on ourselves. Who are you? So that why would this person approach you with such a question? Is it something in your experience or in your process that I showed them that they can come to you and, you know, you'd slide some of the money to help them do something that's not what the money was really meant for.
That funding did go into building the business. None of it came into my own bank account. I draw a salary from my business just like all my staff,
everybody else,
and wait for dividends maybe at the end of the year, and very accountable around that. We have a board of individuals who will not let us get away with anything because they are not going to tag their name
to that,
onto something that is not going to work. So we have highly ethical, highly competent individuals who've run very large organizations on our board, and they help keep us accountable. And I would have to say, from the time they came on board, they've done amazing things in helping us just get focused and grow.
Build your accountability and your governance. So I think also there's a place, as I hear what you're saying, there's a place also to be held accountable. And I think that's another problem in our culture. Very few people can be held to accountable. Even all these rogue leaders and millionaires who have made money the wrong way, is that there's no one to hold them accountable. And sometimes it makes me sad because I think in some other cultures, they will hold you accountable. They will match you to where you're going to get accountability. But we, you know, there's a way that we just look and say, it's not our problem. I don't know. Somebody else needs to handle that thing. It's not me. And there's so much injustice in it as well sometimes, and so much unfairness. But very few people will stand up and say, this is not right.
even despite the fact that I'm the largest shareholder in the business, I still present financials to my chairman, open up everything and get questioned. And if they find that, you know, there are certain things I'm potentially doing that are not in line with what should be done, they'll question. And we've given them the mandate to actually do that. Yeah. So you find a lot of people are not willing to do that because they want to be able to pick 50K on Friday and go and blow it over the weekend.
That is so wrong.
That 50K maybe was going to pay salaries or reinvest in the business or something of a sort. So I guess we also need to just yield ourselves to those kinds of processes. As a business grows, many times you find it's the entrepreneur who starts becoming the biggest danger to that vision. Because now there's a little bit of extra money, I take it, I go and buy a new car. Instead of reinvesting in the new IT system we should have, so that we can be able to scale. So we just need to yield ourselves to that, which means it's more delayed gratification, where you're investing more in those processes that help you to achieve even more scale. And of course, the payoff will be much, much bigger later on. I even stopped thinking about how much money I'm going to make. Right now, we're just focused on, can we make sure we have the right systems and processes to scale?
That's so powerful. That's so amazing. And I think also the people who are in charge of immigration, I think you also need to look at who's coming to the country, why they are coming. But again, I guess there's a corruption story there as well, most likely. But why are they coming? They don't all need to be here. And we have to have homegrown solutions that grow us. And maybe, I've just thought, maybe also putting entrepreneurship systems and structures and governance and accountability into even our education, so that our students, this is something that they grow up with. They come up knowing that I need to be accountable to somebody, that I need to have systems and structures that govern my life, and other people who also speak into it, and to be open to it, so that even if temptation comes, you look at the organization and there's no way, you can't do it, you know. And maybe it's time for us also as Kenyans, as we come into Mashujaa Day, that we also have to change, you know. I feel like we have to be the change that we want. Sometimes we demand change from the nation or from leaders, but we don't want to do that change ourselves. So I feel like we're going to challenge you on this. Mashujaa Day is tomorrow. Who are you accountable to? Open yourself up to accountability. Open yourself up to a self-audit. And see where there are issues, you know, and even your organization. Where's the audit? Where's the accountability? What's the motive? Why are we doing what we do? How are we having a greater conversation, a greater vision on impacting the continent rather than just impacting yourself? Any closing remark, Joram?
Well, yes, also maybe passing it on to the next generation.
Yes.
You know, when we build organizations that can outlast us, where our children or other people in the next generation, maybe our staff members through share schemes and that kind of stuff, are able to pick up, so that whatever it is that we build does not get destroyed in the next generation. So, you know, my kids are as much entrepreneurs as myself. They are 10 and 8 now, and the others are 1. Twins, I have twins who are 1.
Yes.
So I involve them. We talk about business. They run their own small businesses in the estates, where they create, cook, or, you know, do stuff and sell to neighbors and that kind of thing. I'm already building that entrepreneurialism into them, so that they can grow, and if I was to leave the business to them, they would not, you know, be taking it over when they're not responsible or not able to carry on the vision to the next level. Because
they're learning. And there's somewhere I was having a conversation with somebody about culture, and how we have, unfortunately, a culture, at least you've changed it for you, and I have as well. We need to change it, where we have a culture where our parents didn't tell us authentic stories about entrepreneurship, how they about their relation, how they built their businesses, how the problems they went through in their relationships, how did they overcome certain obstacles. So I feel like it's such an amazing place to leave off, because we need to teach our children, share our experiences, share our pain, share our sorrows, share our how I overcame this, and share how do you become an entrepreneur and a responsible Kenyan and citizen who has great visions and can grow things. So I think that's very, very important.
And also speak hope into the continent. We are going to change this continent.
Definitely.
Whether they like it or not.
We are going to change this continent.
Whether they like
this
it or
continent,
not,
we are changing. Let me tell you, we are changing. We are going to change this continent. Africa's for Africans, solutions by Africans. I first had that conversation, I remember, with Pastor Kariithi Wanjao and Kina Kanji and all that. Let me tell you, this continent, by storm.
Yes, we are.
By storm. We are taking over. Yeah, be ready. Mashujaa Day. Stop. Even you become a Mashujaa. Where is your hero-ness story, and what are you going to do to become a great hero in this continent. Thank you so much, Joram.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
It's been such an amazing pleasure hosting you, and I pray for Sandbox. It's going to do great and mighty things. We are going global.
Yes, we are.
You see, I'm not putting myself with.
Yes, we are.
We are going global. That is,
Yes,
we are not
we are.
stopping.
Yes.
So God give you strength, grace, and speed, and put all the right people around you.
Yes,
And thank you for this vision and sticking with the vision.
Okay.
God bless
Thank you very much. Yeah.
God bless you guys. Wow. Hey, excited. Ready to go. God bless you, and we'll see you next Monday. Bye-bye.